brass, mainly 7th grade low brass, music and trying to help them kind of get better at it. And I realized that there's a very small segment of the actual group of the band that's low brass, and I was kind of wondering, in junior high music, how do we keep them interested and how do we get more people to come into it? I chose this. Why did I choose this? I'm looking at being a music education major at Central next year, so this would be a great opportunity. I have connections to the West Band. I grew up there, that's when I first started playing, and I have a love for music, and I feel a need for help in this program. The quote down the bottom, musicians seek truth much like scientists do, just using senses they overlook. That was actually the director of the music program at Central Michigan University. That's actually a quote from him yesterday at my orientation that I just kind of thought fit very well into what I'm doing for this project. So, I had a couple questions. The main big one was, why do they lose interest and how can we stop it? One of the common ones I heard all the time was, is it the music? I hear that a lot. People say, oh, kids don't like classical music. They don't like to play it. It's boring, it's dry, they don't enjoy the harmony, they don't understand it. And I always thought that was kind of weird, so I asked mainly my low brass class. I take them away once a week. I've been going for 3 or 4 weeks now. I take them away once a week and just have them answer questions. Asked them the music, and overwhelmingly it came back, no. It was not the music that they disliked. They loved it. Like even this piece I have shown up next called Blaze On, they loved it even though it's a really old James Curnow piece that most of us would think, not exactly something I want on my iPod. They couldn't get enough of playing it, like to the point where when the Channel 1 advisory stuff was playing, and normally the kids are like, ooh, watch the TV, they would be playing too, and the band director would have to be, guys, quiet now, we need to watch this. It was really interesting. And one of the most entertaining things that actually just happened this weekend was in band. I think it was Thursday of last week, I started playing a tune called Children's March by Percy Grainger. It's a fairly popular tune, but one of the trombonists was like, I really like that. What is that like? I told him. So I'm like, okay, it's Percy Grainger's Children's March. And I came back this Monday to work with him, and apparently over the weekend he had gone home, searched it up on YouTube, figured out the main melody, and learned to play it on trombone over the weekend just because he liked the way it sounded. So it's not the music that really is stopping them from enjoying it. So it had to be something else. This is actually Blaze On. This is from the performance last me, it's phenomenal considering the fact that these kids haven't even had their horns for a year. This is the 7th grade band performing last night. It's their final concert, and most of the time, at least I know, when I was in 7th grade, we would sometimes at our last concert play stuff out of our lesson book, which was a series of couple measure phrases that we would play to time to learn the basics. And I remember we got partway there, 3 books in the series. There's what's called the red book, which is the beginner, the blue book, which is the intermediate, and the green book, which is supposed to be the one that leads you into your 4th year of playing. This band, beginner band, just finished the blue book. Normally that wouldn't be done. I remember when I did it, I got through the red book my first year, the blue book, and kind of into the green book my 2nd year. They're starting their green book before they even hit their 2nd year. So they're getting better, and it's because they actually love to play out of it for some reason. I never did. But they really enjoyed that. So my next question was, well, is it the time consumption that's stopping them? And it's kind of a yes and no answer. Many students in West choose to take elective classes like world language, something like that. And then many parents see music as a waste of time. I got that a lot when I was asking earlier on in the year before we started. We have a workshop thing where the kids can come in and start learning with us before they go to height there. And a lot of the parents are like, I think we're just going to return the instrument. I don't really see music as a valuable thing right now. That kind of upset me. The other thing is there was also a sort of laziness with some of the students. I hate to be that way about it, but a lot of them aren't willing to go home and practice an hour a night or even a half an hour a night to get to the point where the band needed to be. And that causes a couple people to drop out. And that happened especially in the low brass section, which is down to, I think, 4 people now from its original 8. So we've lost half the students. So I was kind of like, okay, this is a yes and no kind of thing with the time consumption. So then, so if it was yes and no, what is the major factor? And that's why I asked, what is the major reason why kids avoid or drop band? And I asked them, and I finally got to the point where I stopped shooting wildly and asking them, is this why? Is this why? I asked them, your friends aren't in band right now, why did they choose not to join? The major factor about it that I honestly heard the most was the money they had to spend on it. School instruments needed. And the average beginner trumpet, $400 to $700. The average beginner saxophone, $250 to $450. Average trombone, $300 to $800. The average beginner tuba costs more than $2,000. That's probably why we have no tuba players in the 7th grade band right now. Is the fact that $2,000 is just not something a parent can shell out, especially today in the current economy, to have their kids play an instrument when they could shell out. We have 8 trumpets, no tubas. They can shell out $400 and get a decent trumpet to play instead of a tuba, and the student really won't know the difference. But there was this one case, I'm not going to use his name, who came to me when I started coming in, and the band director was like, this kid has a lot of potential for tuba, put him on it. And I put him on one of the school ones, and not fabulous by any means, and had him start playing. And I told him, well, you sound good, you sound better than you did on euphonium. Why don't you go talk to your parents to see if they'll let you? His parents would not let him continue even playing on a school instrument because they had bought the euphonium. So the money really is the driving issue. And then I started asking myself, well,